Hi guys, this is my review of the new live-action Lilo and Stitch film. This film is directed by Dean Fleischer Camp. It's of course the new live-action remake of the original 2002 Disney animated film. And to give you like a couple of my thoughts on some of the other ones, I'm not the biggest fan of them. I think they are very clearly there just to cash in on people's nostalgia for them years later. So I didn't have hugely high hopes coming into this film. But I'll start with some of the positives. For one, the main strength of the original film is the main strength here, which is the relationship between the sisters. Both of these actresses do a very good job doing the roles they have to do. Lilo is a normal kid, but she's also a bit of a troublemaker, and she's a lot of fun. The actress that plays Nani is also really good. You get a sort of feeling of, her parents have just died. She's still grieving over it, but she has to mature very quickly and become an adult to look after her sister. And I really felt for her in this film. This movie does also look incredibly good. It's hard to make Hawaii not look good, but there's a lot of very gorgeous landscapes and shots like that. But then on to the negatives. One thing that stood out for me at the very beginning was how like quickly it goes through a lot of the beats of the original. For example, the opening when they're in the spaceship and they're like introducing Stitch and the scientist that made him. It feels like that goes by only like 3 minutes, and they introduce them all very very quickly. And I wasn't the biggest fan of this because it basically sort of it tells you that they're aware that you've seen the original, so they don't have to introduce it too much. I'm not the biggest fan of movies relying on you seeing the original for you to understand this new version. This new version should sort of stand on its own, and this movie doesn't really do that. Another thing that I thought was just really annoying when it came to this film was the editing. How sort of quickly, how very rarely it holds on a shot for that long. It's boom, 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 almost like it's scared to lose your attention. And that really does annoy me when it comes to these films, especially when there's supposed to be emotional scenes. Like there's a scene where the two sisters are on a hammock, and in the original it does just hold on it and it lets you absorb the emotions of the situation. With this one, it constantly cuts way too much, and it does slow down a lot in the second half. The second half is probably a bit better when it comes to how fast paced it is and how quick the editing is, and it does let you absorb the landscapes and the emotions of these characters better. But yeah, it did really annoy me in the first half of this film. When it comes to the differences between this film and the original, they do make a big change when it comes to the two villains. In the original, there was like a serious one, which was this like Russian scientist, alien guy that like was the main person that invented Stitch, and there was sort of the comic relief character who got sent there with him, and they were a good dynamic because one of them was very serious and got very annoyed at the other one. But with this one, they sort of make both of them comic relief characters, and that didn't really work for me because one of them's getting annoyed at the other one, despite the fact that he's doing the exact same things. So both of them just kind of got on my nerves a bit. I wasn't a big fan of the villains, or technically villains, because they weren't really the villains in the original. But then this one, the scientist guy is the main bad guy, but you don't really take him seriously. In the original, he was a lot more intimidating, even though he was a good guy. So I wasn't a fan of that change. But anyways, the other changes aren't too bad. They have the original voice actress that was played Nanny in this film as one of the social workers, and a character that wasn't around in the original. And I thought that was quite nice, giving an honour to the original actress. Overall, this is a movie that doesn't really need to exist, but Disney wants to cash in on their properties. And there are some good heartfelt moments, especially between the sisters, and there is some funny stuff with Stitch and some gorgeous shots. There's also like a lot of annoying stuff with the editing and the character of the bad guys. So this is a perfectly fine film for families and that. But if you're an adult and you don't really have any interest in either the original or you don't want to see it get butchered, then this movie probably isn't going to be for you. I'm going to give it a 4 out of 10.